dear young people of America, do not be afraid. The deepest joy there is in life is the joy that comes from God.
Young Church Podcast got 2 new guests on today. I'll allow you both to introduce yourself and maybe just like a little brief testimony about, your relationship with Jesus.
Okay. Did you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. We're letting the elders speak today. My name's Lauren. I've been a parishioner here at Cornelius since like 2012, I think. It's a long time
Been over a decade.
Yeah.
You really are the elder.
Yeah. No, now that I think about it, yeah. I've been involved with the youth stuff since I think my junior year of high school. I started off with confirmation, and then from confirmation I work with the First Communion kids now. So I've been here for quite a while.
How many years in ministry have you been like serving?
Since junior year of high school, so 2018.
Okay, so that's a long time. So you've been serving at some capacity here for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, in some way or another, which has brought me so much joy and happiness and so many fruitful friendships too.
Yeah.
Some of the people I went to grade school with, but some of them I met from other places that are with me now. So that's nice.
When you made the decision to serve your junior year, I guess why did you start serving? Like,
Miss Kristen on Just made a very impactful,
compelling argument.
No, made a huge impact on my faith and in my faith journey. And I saw what they had created and what they were creating, and I was like, they've shaped these high school kids to change my life. Like, I want to do that. And so I was like, okay, if like after I get confirmed, like if I want to go and help other kids like receive what I've received, like I'm going to go do it. And so it was after I think I got confirmed that I was like, I'm going back. Like, I'm going to go help. Like, I'm going to go serve.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to St. Joseph's. So I went to an all-girls Catholic private high school, which in and itself was an experience.
Okay. I can't tell if that was positive. That doesn't sound positive.
No, I mean, like, it's a great, like, academically well-known school, but, like, I think the religious aspect at the time, I can't speak for what it is now, but I think at the time did nothing to my faith. I think I found it all here at Cornelius. So, like, I didn't get shaped in my faith, really, at the school that I was at.
Okay. So. Did you have, like, a coming to Christ moment at all in the confirmation program here? Was there anything specifically that really made you?
From what I can recall, I mean, it was so long ago. I think it was just the overall, like, what they're doing is open my eyes to something I hadn't seen before, if that makes sense. And I was like, I want other kids to feel what I'm feeling. And I don't think at the time I could describe what I was feeling, but I was just like, if, other people are doing this, like, how can I do this for somebody else? Like, and like, I was, brought up in the faith, raised in the faith. I've never known a life without my faith. And so, for other people who like don't have that and, or just coming to the faith, it's like, well, how can I make them love it like I am right now, if that makes sense? So.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. What about for you, Julia?
So I actually am not a parishioner of Cornelius, but, so I actually grew up coming here, but to daily mass. So when I was little, my parents would take us after like we had piano lessons, like would take us here on Thursdays. And I started coming here because my mom actually was the teacher of confirmation at St. Hedwig's. And she met Lauren because Lauren was a helper over there. And she saw her and she was like, hey, like, yeah, I heard you talking about a young adult group. Like, my daughter's a young adult. Like, here's her number. Go text her.
And then I didn't text her
for
like a month.
Me for like a month. And then she did. And then I showed up to Bible study for the first time. And as soon as it was over, I bolted out. Like, I was like, I don't want to, like, I don't know these people. Like, I want to go. And that was like actually my first time being around people my age who like knew their Catholic faith. Like I never grew up with that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought I was like,
wait, so when was this? This was like 2 years ago? No,
this was just like last year.
Oh, last year.
September of 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so post World Youth Day is when you really started getting involved, I guess.
Because I think it was the spring right before World Youth Day is when you took over for confirmation, was it?
No, I was here from the year before that.
Oh, that's awkward.
I was in 22.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Oh.
The young adult group. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, because I was gonna say I remember I went over to help teach confirmation at St. Hedwig's because I wasn't able to like help here anymore because you had too many people in the program, and it's just like I can go teach somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
You don't want my coolness, it's okay. But
you don't want my coolness.
It's okay,
no, it was an age. It was an age.
No, there was legitimate reasons to my leaving, but I remember I had met our mom and she was like, hey, like my daughter needs people like in their faith, like your age, like she needs people, and I was like, I'm cool, like okay, cool,
I'm cool.
And so
did you text her like I'm cool?
I texted her like a month or so later. Like I totally forgot that I was like supposed to like help this chick, like you know. And then
how did that go? What did it look like? Hey, your mom gave me your number.
I can pull up the text.
I mean, no, you don't need to pull it up. I'm sure we'll be scrolling for a while.
I remember I got like a random I got a text from her like, hey, like my name's Lauren and I go to young adults at like Cornelius and we have weekly Bible studies at this time. Like feel free to come. Like 5 exclamation marks. And I'm like, okay.
So that's kind of what it was. You came.
And I came.
And then you left quickly.
And I like after Bible study was over, but I kept coming. Like I never like missed a Bible study. I kept coming, but it took me like a good few times to like actually start talking to people like afterwards.
What changed? You just became more comfortable?
I think like I knew who Lauren was like when I saw her, because oh maybe I shouldn't say that, but like
you can just go for it.
My mom was like, look for the girl who like she's like, guess what race she is. And so no, seriously,
it's my favorite game to play.
Guess what race Lauren is?
Yeah, she said like if you don't know, she's like if you don't know that's Lauren, and I was like. Nobody. Like she said, if you look at her and you don't know like what she is, like that's the girl I'm talking about.
Look for the racially ambiguous girl.
Yeah, but nobody's gotten the race game correct.
I don't even want to play. A part of me, once you said it, I was like, yeah, okay. I wasn't even thinking about it, but yeah, I guess it would be a little challenging.
So I saw Lauren and I was like, okay, so it's this girl, and then like
who is this girl?
And then like I think like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I like came up to her and was like, oh, are you Lauren? And she was like, are you Julia? And like that, like, and we were like, honestly, we didn't really become friends until like 6 months after that. Yeah, like we talked once.
We talked and we texted and we hung out sometimes, but
we didn't become like close friends until later.
So you guys have been close friends for how long now? You would say?
I feel like we expedited the process pretty fast. Like after we got
North Dakota,
like we went on a trip together.
together.
We weren't even as close then. We just was like, hey, you want to go to North Dakota for a week? And I was like, down. And so we went.
Yo, what is this story? How is this like making sense?
The reason why we were talking about like vocations, like what, like, you know, college, and like what are we doing in college? Because like she wasn't in college, and I'm a baby, so like I'm like barely in college, and our brains are very similar in the fact that I don't think that we're like school brained. Like
we're not.
No. And so we're like, okay, like, oh, there's this really cool Catholic school in North Dakota called UMary. Like, oh, I was like, oh, my mom has like all these friends who live in North Dakota. Let's go. And we bought tickets.
And then went.
You flew there?
Yeah.
Okay, and you just spent time checking out the campus?
We spent 1 day.
We spent 1 day at the campus, and then we spent the rest of the week.
We spent 5 days just lingering around North Dakota.
Yeah.
What do you do?
We went to a national park.
Like Mount Rushmore?
That's South Dakota.
Oh.
We went
What is there to do in North Dakota?
Exactly.
We went on a
Why do you say yes? Why did you go?
Because like it was fun. Like why not?
How much were your tickets?
Like $300.
Yeah, I would not spend $300 to go to North Dakota.
But like I didn't have to pay for like room and board. Like it
was
literally.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, we were staying with my mom's friend.
It was literally just the flight.
It was just the flight. Yeah.
But to turn it back though, like we weren't even like super close back then.
No.
But after North Dakota.
It was like, I think after post Dakota
was when
like, we became pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
But I don't think there's ever a time that we like weren't like somewhat close, if that makes sense. Like Like from the first, like
No, that sounds
like no, like she came and like after that like first initial like I think it was like maybe 3 weeks she kept coming and then like just left. And like it was after like that first time that she like it was around kind of like Halloweenish area, I think.
That's when like I really met you.
Yeah,
like that's like when on Halloween, Crystal's Halloween party.
That's when you found out what race she was, and then that's when you're like, I know you now. That's what happened.
Well, I saw her like I was like helping because she was like on the ground.
She was just
and I was like, okay, I gotta help
I was
this
just
girl.
like in my element, and
She
so,
was
like,
she was very.
I'm not.
Stop.
What kind of podcast? What is going on?
Maybe. So she
No,
she
no,
was
no.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Anyways, I met Lauren and I was like, okay, like this girl's real. Like I was like, okay, like I could be friends with her, and that was like, I don't know, because you're kind of being a little more vulnerable like around me that night, and so like I think that's when like okay, like I can kind of vibe with this girl, but I was still kind of, I think I was like pretty guarded around the group for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but that was like really my first night, like meeting everybody, like really talking to people and like having back and forth conversation.
And so, what does your friendship look like now? What do you guys do together?
We go to mass. We go to mass together a lot.
I think a lot of our hangouts start at
Like
daily
around
mass.
church?
Start with mass. Yeah.
Either young adult groups or
Yeah.
mass or something.
Choir.
We choir.
Yeah.
We sing in the choir.
You sing in there too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, now you do. Fun fact. What do you call it? That or we go rock climbing maybe once.
We
in
go
a
rock
while.
climbing. Like yeah. Well,
But
Maybe you
We
can do
just-
that in North Dakota. I feel like you do some rock climbing over there.
there
It's
was
actually really
it's
flat out
very
there.
Oh,
flat.
all right, never mind.
It's very flat. There's on a hill
So
inside.
you can't do anything. Like
There's a river. The river is pretty.
yeah, but she can't swim.
Yeah, I can't swim. So
all right, so you guys go to daily mass. What's
go to
that?
daily
What's that
mass.
like? Have you guys before you guys kind of became friends? Were you individually going to daily mass, or is that something you do together?
I think you were.
I was.
I
So
was
you
not.
weren't.
I
You
was
weren't.
not. No.
He was not.
Okay. What? I'll start with you, Lauren.
Okay.
What made you kind of start going to daily mass?
Well, if you like run it back really far, I always made fun of my dad because he was a 6 a.m. morning mass guy. And I was like, I could never be that life. Like, that's wild. Like, before work, before school, like, no. And then it was right before we went to World Youth Day in Lisbon that I, in Thanksgiving, went to daily mass for like a week prior. And I was like, oh, like, let me go pray for the people I'm going with for our experience, for our safety. Like, let me just go give my thanks to the Lord and go to mass. And then, we went to church quite often while we were out there. And then when we came back, I was like, I can keep doing this. Like, I was also super jet lagged. So, like, I was up enough to, like, go to 5 p.m. mass and then
5 a.m.
5 p.m. mass. I was up. Like, I wasn't, like, I was awake. Like, I was very awake.
So what? Isn't it normal for people to be awake at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, but I had slept. I had slept
was
until
on-
like.
she
Oh,
was
you're talking
on
about when you
Spain
came
time.
when
back.
I came back from
Okay,
Portugal.
okay. I thought you were saying like you,
Yeah.
like it was a routine thing.
No.
Like-
I came back from Portugal and I was like, I can keep going back to mass. And I had slept until like 1 p.m. that day, so I was super awake and I wasn't tired or anything. So I'm like, okay, like I'll go to 5 p.m. mass, and then I went back the next day and I kept going, and it was this beautiful cycle. Well, I wouldn't say no. Let me take that back. I had kept going to daily mass when we came back from Portugal for about 9.5 months. So it was a 9.5 month long streak that I always talked about because I was like, I'm so cool that I'm going to daily mass. Like, wow, look at me. But I think,
I do.
I think that also in it became slightly unhealthy because I was trying to like hit a goal or hit a target of like not ending my mass streak rather than like truly getting out the beauty of what mass is. So
You initially started going it was kind of like happenstances right before World Youth Day. You were exposed to daily mass from your dad.
yes.
So you knew about it. Because
Yes.
I feel like even a lot of Catholics don't realize like you can go to mass every single day.
Yeah.
So you kind of already knew that. And so you just felt called right before World Youth Day. Like, I just want to go just to pray and receive Jesus and stuff like that. And then that continued.
Yeah.
Coming back for like 9.5 months.
Yeah.
Okay. But you said you lost the
I lost the mass streak somewhere in there. I think it was like in like April, May-ish maybe.
You remember the exact day?
Well, yeah, because I got sick, and I got
I
sick.
remember the exact day. It wasn't April. It was like right before, like right after Easter.
Yeah, because I got super, super sick during like Easter time, and I was just like coughing and hacking, and I was like, I'm just gonna skip mass today. Like I don't feel well, and then I just didn't go back the next day, or the next day, or the day after that, and then I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to go to mass every day to like feel good or like feel like I was like, I don't know how to say it, but I lost a streak, and then I didn't go back for a couple weeks, and then I reformed a healthy relationship with like going to mass, and then I go maybe 3-4, if a good time, 5 days a week.
When you say like healthy relationship, do you mean like you felt like you needed to go to mass in order to like it was like an act of like, I'm trying to like earn something. I'm gonna go to mass to like prove that like, oh, I'm a good Catholic, and
It wasn't to like prove that I was a good Catholic, but it was like I keep going, so I have to keep going because I've been going kind of thing. If
so
that
you just
makes
wanted
sense.
the streak.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I wanted to keep the streak alive. Like, like I have to go because I've been going, not because I want to. And so I think around like month like 7, I was in that like, let me go because I have to go because I went yesterday. And like while like you still get like you still receive graces from mass, it was almost slightly unhealthy because I wasn't going to like to go. I was going to like make a point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like to want to go to daily mass, there has to be some desire in your heart, and I was just going to like make a point.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound healthy.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
That's why I said it was unhealthy. But
Yeah.
I feel like now it's a lot more healthy, and that has to do with partly her, but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell me how you got into going to daily mass.
I remember when she like started telling me that she was going to daily mass, and I was like, I'm not going to daily mass. Like that is so much. Like I have so much to do. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot. And like I don't know. I've got like, for me, like it's hard to concentrate during mass. Like it's hard for me to like sit through mass because I'm like I have ADHD. Like whatever. My brain's always going like round and round in circles. So it's almost like that sounds so bad, aggravating for me to go to mass. But like it wasn't something that like I understood yet. So I was like, okay, like I'm just not gonna go. And so after she like told me that she was going, I was like, okay. And it was like around January, so it was around the first of the year. I was like, I'm gonna start going like once a week, and just like start to like get in the habit of like.
And would you go with her or alone?
I think I did both. I would go alone or I would go with her. I would mainly go with like other people because I didn't feel motivated enough to go on my own, because I knew if I went with other people, like we would get food after. Like that's
so
like
true.
that's like I was like, okay, like as long if I'm going with other people, like we'll do something fun afterwards. But I don't know like where I think I kind of had an encounter with God during adoration at like Cal State's All and Abide. So I would go with them, like the Cal State people like invited me. I was like, okay, like I'll go. And I sat there and I was like, oh, like, it was like I remembered what Jesus felt. It was like, because I felt it before when I was little. When I was little, I was very close to God. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I was just given a gift. Like, my first word was Jesus. And
Really?
yeah, my first word was Jesus. I was baptized on Christmas Day. Not to like I don't know. But, but like, after I had that encounter with Christ, I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like bawling my eyes out. I'm like, oh, like I'm around all these people I don't know, and don't look at me. And so I was like, okay, like I want to start going to mass because I want to start learning more about my faith. I want to like be strong. I want to be like so rooted in my faith. And I think that in order to do that, I need to start going to mass. And so I think that's how I started going more throughout. I don't think there was ever a time I went every single day, but I got to a point of going to like 3-4 times a week, which I think that's almost enough to consider like a daily mat. Like,
Yeah,
mass
you're in a
goer.
majority.
Yeah. But
So what it specifically about going to the daily mass is so spiritually fulfilling?
I feel like it, like you receive Jesus, and I think when you understand who Jesus is and you accept him as your father and as your best friend and as everything, it's like going to hang out with her. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to
Yeah.
go hang out with him. Like
Yeah.
I want to go sit there in mass. I want to be with him, and he speaks to you also, and like it's just
Yeah,
I think it comes from that desire.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just like something. It's like you crave it almost. Like you want to be in, not like just like in the presence of the Lord, but it's also like truly, like wonderful to see other people love the Lord as much as you do. Like here's this church filled with all these other people that are desiring the same thing I'm desiring. No matter what stage in our relationship with the Lord we're in, we're all desiring the same thing. Like we all showed up. Like we're all here. And it's like 9 times out of 10, we're the youngest people in church.
Oh,
like
yeah.
9 times out of 10. And you know, it's all these people from all walks of life. It's like we're all desiring the same thing, and we're all at different stages in our life. Like half of them are married, or they're widowed, or like it's random college kids that come in. Like we're all desiring the same thing, and it's so beautiful. I think also is what keeps you back going. It's like you're not alone in it. I feel like so often we think that, you know, we're alone in our struggles and we're alone in our faith, and it's like you walk into mass on a Tuesday at noon and the church is just packed.
Yeah.
Like I remember Peter Chanel, like I could go at 6 a.m. or noon and it's still packed. And you know, they have mass 4 or 5 times a day, and it's like everybody's here seeking and desiring the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and it's also motivating to know that like even in your hardest times, like you're not alone, which I feel like so many people, especially our age, often forget. Is like we always think we're so alone, and it's like, but you're not.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I think what I'm getting from both of your responses is, one, you receive like the God of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is like quite literally filling for your
Yeah.
soul. But then also there's the component of being in community with everyone who, where people are pursuing the same thing. You feel a sense of oneness with the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also comforting to know that it's like, I don't know, maybe you're I'm just hypothetical. Like, I know it's not you right now in this stage of your life, Lauren, but like you're a 20-year-old college kid, but you also have the 30-year-old dad, and then you have the, 55-year-old couple, and then you have the 7-year-old widow, and you realize, okay, even though I'm 20 years old and I'm in college, all of these people's life experiences, like they're still pursuing Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that they're all in different stages and doing this and doing that, they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really like viewed it that way, but that's so true.
Yeah. Sometimes I think about it and I feel like not it not disheartening, but like I think even before like I started like bringing the others to like church with me and stuff, I was like, I'm the only person, like young person in here. Like that's so sad. Like I thought of like, I think for a hot second I was like, what am I doing? Like why is no one else in here? Like this is weird.
Yeah,
but
it
then
does
I'm
feel
like,
that way, huh?
and then I'm like, but like I'm not like everyone else. Like we're all like, we all look the same in the eyes of the Lord. Like he's like, oh, my children, like you're at mass.
Yeah.
Like something like kind of like it goes away. Like
Yeah. And one thing you guys mentioned is you guys do go to daily mass. It's like a little bigger group, right? You guys
Yeah.
go with,
Yeah.
we
with
take
guys
the boys
as well.
with us.
We take
Yeah.
the boys.
The
boys.
What's that like?
You know, we were thinking about it the other day. We're like, why is it like us two girls?
Us
Like,
two girls and like,
like four
it's like
guys.
4 or 5 guys like around us. Because like, I feel like people could look at that and be like,
what are they?
what are they doing? Like, who's their boyfriends in the group? Like, why
Yeah.
are they hanging out with them? Whatever.
Yeah, and I feel
But
like
it's not like that.
And I feel like it's such a touchy topic too, because I hear it all over the place where it's like, you can't be friends with males, or you can't be friends with people of
Which-
the opposite sex, which to a degree
that is true.
To a degree it is true. And I think
Yeah.
that's what, sets like healthy boundaries and like you have to be at a certain point to be like, okay, like you are there and I am here, but like we are one. Like we are we are one, but like
We're friends.
like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Like on a,
I got you.
yeah, on like a healthy level.
Don't say that.
Healthy boundaries.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing to see, because like one of our good friends, Andrew, who made his way into the group. I don't know how,
Made
but
his
like,
way. I don't know how.
showed up
He
one
submitted
day.
his application. It finally got processed.
it
and-
did. But like he's a good example of like he just came into the faith last year, so like
Yeah.
he's, you know, on fire for the Lord, and you know, is thinking about priesthood. So it's like it's beautiful to see that and encourage, you know, our dear friend in like this new part of life he may be entering.
Yeah.
And it's like we still joke and we still laugh and we still, you know, get serious and are like, hey, these are things going on, and it's like, how do we go about this? What do we do? You know, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's times like that where it's like just a super healthy, like opposite sexed friendship where it's like, I'm going to bring you to the Lord and you're going to bring me to the Lord, and we're going to do separate things. And
Yeah, I think it's cool that like you bring it out in each other's like femininity and like
masculinity.
masculinity.
Because
I-
they do take care of us.
No, because like I think when I noticed this, we were at mass with our friend Joe, and he was sitting like closest to the edge of the pew when we wanted to go receive communion, and it was him, Lauren, me, and he took a step back and he let Lauren go in front of him, and I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, like whatever, like it's Laura, like he likes Laura, like it's fine. And so then he let me go in front of him, and I was like,
oh,
wait, and I was like, you're like to me, I don't
like
know,
you're
to
taking
me,
care of me.
yeah. And I was like, to me, I'm like, oh, like you're a man. I was like
You're a man. Joe, I didn't know I was sitting next to a man in this pew.
but just like when I saw him do that, because my dad does that, and I was like, oh, like he knows what it means to be a godly man, to like recognize our femininity and just
Yeah.
and
they never fail to do that.
No.
Like anywhere. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, because I feel like like people, like kids, like young adults our age, like I think our perspective of what it means to like live in our femininity and our masculinity is so skewed because of the way the world views it. And it's like, and I get like that sometimes too. Like they'll go and like open our door, and I'm like, bruh, I can open my own door. Like it's fine. And I'm like, no, like take care of me. Like I like it. Like thank you. Like you're bringing out my femininity with your masculinity in such a healthy
Yeah.
way, because like we can open doors, but like
right, and it doesn't have to always be like in a relationship, like, oh, like I like this girl, so I'm gonna open this door. No, like this is a woman that God created, and I'm just gonna be man. I'm gonna open the door for her. I'm gonna, you know, let her go in front of me in line of communion. I'm gonna like, you know, like treat her.
I'm gonna walk where the cars are, so like if anything were to happen, like I'll get hit before them. Like
That's a little, I mean, sure, but like, but yeah, like it's, yeah, I don't know. I think our friends that we have are just, I think also like being girls that have, you know, guy friends, I think it's healing, because I feel like girls have such a view, especially now, and like the culture now, like girls have such a view of what men are, and like, you know, we're kind of like, oh, you know, men are gross, you don't need a man, like you can get the job you want, you get all the money you want, you can live on your own, you can travel the world, like all these things. And here are like these like such safe, like wouldn't hurt a fly, wouldn't do anything,
Yeah.
like men who are like, oh, I'm gonna protect you, and like even though like you are, like I see you as a sister in Christ, like I don't see you like anything more than that, like I'm still gonna protect you. I feel like it's healing seeing
like there are good men
there
out
are
there.
really good men out there.
Mhm.
And
And it's like
Yeah.
it's also so beautiful too, because we were all gone at Seek for a week, and one of our friends, Jonathan, didn't join us. And like it was so sad, because like we've got the whole gang there but Jonathan, and it was like so many times in the week we were like, Jonathan
would love that. Yeah.
You know, or like his favorite word's concupiscence, and you know, like
That's crazy for a favorite word.
and you know anytime, or prudence.
Anytime it would bring
That's
up in a
better.
talk, like all of us would look at each other like
We're like,
simultaneously, like,
Jonathan.
oh, Jonathan. And so,
Or like we just like pick up on each other's mannerisms. Like he says a lot, and like the whole week that's all we kept repeating. And it's like, we're so far from home, we're so far from you, but like we love you so much. We want you here with us, experiencing the same thing.
yeah.
And I think this friendship, not just with Jonathan, but just this group that you guys have, adds joy to your life.
Oh, it adds
Yeah.
so much
Yeah,
joy to
that's
my
like-
life.
That's like the reason for having, one of the reasons for having
Right.
friends that are
Yeah.
guys or girls that are, guys that have friends that
Yeah.
are girls. It adds joy
Yeah.
to your life.
It adds, and like I go back and like I'll scroll back through my camera roll and I'm like, I spent so much time with these people, like so
We've,
much
like,
time.
It's kind of crazy to think like we've seen each other almost every single day since like Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Wow.
like
And
it's
we haven't gone sick of each other.
No.
Like that's
And it-
the crazy thing.
and it kind of goes back to that thing of like desiring like going to mass every day because like
Mhm.
you desire that longing and love, and it's like if I want, like, they make me happy and they bring out the good in me and they take care of me, and it's like, why wouldn't I want to be surrounded by that all the time?
Yeah. From your perspectives, what I have a couple questions.
Go.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll ask this one
Shoot 'em.
first. Do you think this would change if either of you got a boyfriend? You get what I'm
Yes
saying?
and no.
This
Like,
This sounds great and
yes
everything,
and
but
no,
like,
no. Yeah, no, that's a real question.
I feel like they just be added to the group.
I-
Like if
we got different answers right here.
Well, like I mean, you
no, we're not talking about that.
okay. Well, like I mean, this was actually something that they talked about at Seek,
Okay.
and I thought I felt really targeted when they said this. They said like, don't use your, because there was a lady who talked about male and female. Sorry,
An
go ahead.
emotional chastity.
Jackie Angel.
Yeah, she talked about like female and male friendships.
Okay.
And I agree with everything she said. She's like, like they can lead you closer to God. Like you guys, lead each other to God in different ways. But she kind of went in, she said like, don't use your guy friends as placeholders for your boyfriends. And like for
Yeah.
your or for your future, like, sorry, not for your boyfriends, for like your future spouse or your future boyfriend
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. And I was super convicted. I was like, oh. And so, and I was just like thinking about like things in my past, because I think it's like one thing to like have guy friends, and it's another thing to be like, texting them all the time. Like you're like
Sure.
constantly texting, because honestly, like, there's not really guys in the group who like I'm gonna like text all the all the time. Like when we talk in person, we talk in person.
Yeah.
Like when we talk in person. That's it. But
So that seems like a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, because, and like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think like if we did get like if I got a boyfriend, like that actually makes me think more now. It's like, oh, like what would you think? Like, oh, like you're always hanging out with all these guys.
Yeah.
But I
it's
think
also-
that's like, yeah.
It's also one of those things where it's like, like I'd want him to feel the same. Like I'd want your boyfriend to like feel the same, like closeness like we all have. You know what I mean? Like not that he has to mesh in with the group, but like I don't know where I was going with that actually.
I think it's just more like, I think it is good to ask ourselves, like when you do have friends of the opposite sex, like, if I had a boyfriend or if I had a girlfriend, would I be doing this?
yeah.
That's a
Like
really that's
like
a really
Jonathan.
that's a really good question or way to think about it.
And I think Jonathan does a really good job about that.
Oh, Jonathan
Because
is, yeah.
He's a really good example of it because like
Yeah.
him and Bianca are adorable. I love them to death. Like they're so adorable. But like he makes it a really good effort to like when she is here to make her included, and we love her and she meshes great. But like she's not around all the time
Yeah.
because she kind of lives far and is in school.
And also like, the way he talks.
The way he
us,
talks to us,
it's very
like
Just keep the mic closer.
sorry.
There you go.
It's really
respected.
respectful. Yeah, it's very like I'm your friend.
It's not sussy or anything.
no.
Like
No.
I had to.
Okay. Okay, this is helpful. No, I really appreciate it. I think that question is, would you be doing this if you had a girlfriend? Or I was saying it for me, but
Okay.
for if you had a boyfriend, that's a really good thing that people can use for their friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
And I think they've also given us a really good perspective of how a guy should treat us. And not that we
Totally.
should that we should compare like, if this guy walks into our life and how he treats us to them, but it's a good indicator of like we have no ties to them and yet they're still treating us so respectfully and wholesomely and X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. What I want both of your perspectives. You guys spoke about the ways in which the boys add like this sort of protection and safety and security, and they're just gentlemen around you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys offer the guys?
Ooh.
How, from your perspective?
Humor.
Humor.
I'm kidding.
But that's fair. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But what? Yeah, I'm wondering from your perspective, right?
Okay.
What would you say?
I never thought about that actually.
Right?
That's
mean,
a
you
good
guys are
question.
Not that we
Good.
just continually take from them, because I've definitely bought them dinner before. But what do we add to their life? Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like you did a great job explaining how guys add to your lives.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, and it was great and everything. But if you're friends, it goes two ways.
This is true.
No, this is true.
So what kind of stuff do you think you guys add?
Wow.
I didn't mean to put you on the
No,
spot
I
like
want
that.
to
but-
like
it's
phone a
good.
friend. Like I don't.
You call the guys.
Hey, get up here right now. No.
You tell them right now how I add value to your life.
I don't.
I feel like it kind of comes out when we kind of get into like our like. Oh, that sounded weird. Like I was gonna say like our deep like, sitting in your front yard talks.
Yeah,
like
we
it's like
often sit in our front
like
yards.
we'll like sit in
Yeah.
front of like around a bonfire and like we'll just kind of go off on some like theological like we'll just kind of.
tangent.
Maybe do you guys
something.
help them express themselves better?
I think
I
so.
think that's.
I think we also take care of them too, though. I feel like there's been times where like they're really down in it, and we've taken care of them.
Yeah, like well, I feel like
Like encouraging, very
Yeah.
like encouraging, and then you draw things out of them.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
like asking them questions like Jonathan has a girlfriend, and I think it's, how do I say this? I think it's sweet. Like one of the guys in our group, he'll just like come up to me like ask me he'll just like ask me just like, should I do this or should I wear this or like just like something like that, and I'm like, oh, like
How's my
You
hair
kn-
today?
we all know who that is, but we're like, how do I say that?
It's always the hair.
I think we kind of add value to their lives because like we kind of not like let them like bring out like their feminine side, but it's like
No, yeah.
we're
a
safe
little
girls to ask about like, oh, like should I do this on a date or like how do I approach a girl like this or
Yeah,
just like kind of
totally.
things
Yeah.
like that, and we're like, okay, like here like I don't know, like they care about our input.
Yeah,
and
they do care about our input.
we care. I think like we kind of give to them.
Style advice for their future girlfriends, I guess. That was also
We listen to them.
we do.
We listen to them, and like
They're yappers.
they are.
They yap.
Guys, like I always thought guys talk. They talk more than
and
we
maybe
talk.
that's like
I don't
we
know
make
about
them,
all that. I don't
maybe-
know about all
maybe
that.
we make them feel like okay
like they're
to
able to
express
talk
themselves,
about
because
Totally.
stuff.
if
they're
you let
going
them,
through.
they'll yap.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing. I can definitely see that going both ways, and that's a really good.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think like I said before, like the idea of like healthy female and male friendships is so skewed that like when you set boundaries and you make it healthy, and it's like I think we start from such a holy place that it's like it in itself is already just like a fruitful holy friendship. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that was super well said, and you kind of summarized what we were just talking about, so that was great. I thought that was a really good discussion. I want to ask you guys a question. I usually ask this question to end the podcast,
Oh no.
and it's an individual question, but you can answer it however you like. Okay, however you take this is how I want you to answer it.
Scary.
Okay, why Jesus?
Why Jesus?
Yeah, why Jesus?
Because why not?
I mean, if you look at it, he's the only one who said I am. And like when it comes to like religious figures, like he's like the only one. I think like this was actually like one of the first Bible studies I ever went to. Like he was like the first one. He was the only one who said like I am the way, the truth, and I thought like, oh, this is a way. This could be your truth. This is the truth. And I think I kind of used to think like going back to what we were first talking about, like intentions when it comes to going to mass. I think that I kind of like for a while was mad at myself because I'm like, oh, like I'm going, like I feel like I'm just doing this to get something out of it. I feel like I'm just believing in God. I feel like I'm just praying. I feel like I'm just going to mass. I'm just going to adoration to get something out of this, like something for my life. And I kind of lost where I was going with this. But like, he's the only, I've only ever felt full with him. I feel like I've tried to find, like I've tried to find it in so many different ways, different people. And also I feel like, no, I don't feel like it's like the only thing that makes it makes too much sense to not be true. If you really if you really look into it, like
God is so intentional.
It makes too much sense not to be true. I can't ignore it. I can't ignore Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Why Jesus? Like I stated before, I've been born and raised Catholic. I've never known a faith. I've never known a life without the faith, and I think my parents did a good job of that growing up. Where it's like, it's never not been why Jesus. Like it's just what I've grown up in. And I mean, given I went to Catholic school my entire life, and then straight from Catholic school just kept working in the church, so it's like, well, Jesus, like it's nothing I've never not known. Mm-hmm. And I think even in like some of like the lower points of my life, I think it was like the latter half of like 2023 and like early of 24, where it's just like I was just so down in the gutter, but it's like there's still hope. Like there's still Jesus. Like even in my lowest, like I didn't talk to anybody, mm-hmm. didn't do anything, didn't go and that's like, but still Jesus. Like I'm not alone. Like not that we all, like nobody ever wants to be alone, but like at some point, like you might get there and it's like, it's still Jesus. Like you still have hope. Like there's still a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think it's so reassuring to like your heart and your mind that it's like, you're not alone. And that's why Jesus, because
thank you.
We don't man's not made to be alone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's really good. I appreciate you guys coming on here. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm going to end in prayer.
Okay.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Come, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, I just ask for blessings over all of our lives and anyone who's listening to this. I think especially so that we may pursue holy friendships. Just realize the need for men to be around good women and good women to be around good men. I just pray that you allow us just to see what we're made for community, for just a space to be vulnerable and to just grow. Dear Lord, I thank you for everything. I ask for the intercession of our Blessed Mother as we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Amen.